Hello, and welcome back to the Sit and Talk podcast, where I sit down and talk about whatever comes to mind, really. Today, since it's this time of year, April, when people start graduating, when people are taking their final exams, April, May, June, I'm gonna talk about my experience in high school and what I miss most about it, and kind of just give some tips and some pointers to the people that are either graduating this year or graduating next year, the year after, just what I experienced and what I feel like if I could go back, I would change or do differently, or you know, just what I felt like my high school experience was like. So the one thing that I think I miss the most about high school is the accessibility to friends. Like, I had most of my friend group within maybe 10 minutes of me by bike, and if I wanted to drive, it was maximum 20 minutes, and I could go basically to any friend that was in my friend group that I wanted to. I had, let me count. I had Gonzalo, Clayton, Felipe, Leon, Dennis, Felix, Busty, Simon. Yeah, I had 8 friends easily within 10 minutes of where I lived. And having that it's something that I never really noticed how important it was. I never really noticed how easy it was to just go to someone's house and hang out, or just go see someone and just, you know, just be with them. Like, I know now I live in my own apartment. I don't live in a student residence or anything, but I know now, like, I probably have to ride 15, 20 minutes by bike to get to any of my friends, and then everybody else still lives with their parents outside of the city, which is, if I could do that, I would do that as well. I'd be saving so much money. But yeah, I think that's one thing that I never really realized how nice that was, how yeah, how easy it was just to see anybody at such a short notice. Like, I could text someone and be like, "Hey, you want to go get some food in 10 minutes?" and we could meet up right then. Like, it needed no planning or anything, or just, "Hey, you want to hang out? Can I come over?" It was just super simple, and I think that's the one thing that I wish I took advantage of more. I wish I did that every single day, every day, asking someone if they wanted to hang out, asking someone if they wanted to go somewhere and do something, or just explore, or whatever it was, just hang out somewhere. I think that's one thing that if I could go back and do, I would 100% just be with people. Like, especially the friends that have moved really far away now, like people like Gonzalo or people like Clayton or Simon, like, those are all people that are studying in the US now. And I feel like I feel like I should have taken advantage of it more when I could have, to be with them, cuz now it's like I get to see them, Christmas break. I got to see most of my friends. I didn't get to see Simon. Summer break, hopefully I'll be able to see everybody again, but everybody has plans, everybody has things they want to do, traveling, stuff like that. So it's kind of, I don't know. That's the one thing that I really do wish I could go back and do, is just be with people, be with all my friends, spend as much time as possible with them, take pictures, just whatever it was to store those memories. I wish I could go back and do that, which, leads me to my next point. One thing that I really miss about high school, still on the topic of friends, is just all the inside jokes, all the funny things that have happened that, now I'm here in Amsterdam, and I don't really, all my friends now they're from other schools, so if I bring anything up, it's like they don't understand it, they don't get why I'm saying it, they don't, it doesn't make sense to them. And rightfully so. I wouldn't expect them to know any of that, but it's just kind of something that I didn't really notice, how, like, the slang that we used in our group, or the sayings we use, it doesn't apply to anybody else outside of our little group of friends. It's just, when you think about it, it makes no sense, but all of us knew what we were talking about. And it's just, I noticed that in, like, my first month, I really had to see what I was saying to make sure it made sense. I really had to think about it and, really contemplate does this person know what I'm saying if I say this? Because, you know, they obviously don't know what I'm trying to say, like all my friends from Germany did. But yeah, mainly just when it came to being with friends, it was just never boring. There was always something to do, always someone to hang out with, someone was free, you know. And then living in Dusseldorf, that was just, I think that's one of the greatest cities that you can grow up. It's definitely my favorite city that I've ever lived in. It's so beautiful. The architecture there is amazing. All the people there are so nice and friendly. Specifically Kaiserswerth, where we all live. Well, Clemensplatz for me. Clemensplatz was. It's such a. It's such a calm, nice place where you can live, and with our little community that we had there, you know, our school was 5 minutes away from my house. The gym was maximum 10-15 minutes by driving. It was, everything was super super close. And then living on the Rhine, being able to go down there, you know, whatever time of day it was, if you wanted to go down there at 2 o'clock with a couple of friends and just hang out and talk, you could do that. If you wanted to go down there at 9 o'clock at night and have a little party and drink a little bit with some people, you could do that. And then being 20 minutes away from the city, it was just, it was so so easy to just be able to go to the city, get a pizza, and then see where the night goes, or go to a bar and order a bottle of wine and see what happens. And it's stuff like that where, although now I'm living in the center of the city and I could do all of that, once again, it's more fun when you're doing it with those close friends that you've known for 5-6 years, you know, 5 6, however long you've known those people. It's just, you have a different kind of bond with them other than people that you've known for less than a year. And, you know, obviously I have I have I have to travel late 20 30 minutes to get to school. And when I lived in Germany, it was 5 minutes maximum. If I went by bike, it was 5-10 minutes. And in the summer, that ride is so so nice. It's not super hot yet in the morning. It's still pretty cool. You know, the sun's shining a little bit, but you know it's gonna get warmer throughout the day. But that ride in the morning is, it was so enjoyable. It was so nice just being by myself, listening to music and riding. And here I have kind of the same thing, but you know, a 30-minute bike ride is a lot longer. And you know, sometimes I'm not really feeling that in the morning. If it's, you know, an 8:30 class and I have to leave my apartment by 8 just to get to class, it's like, ooh, I do not really enjoy doing that. But you know, just being in that small tight little community where really you had everything within 20 minutes of you. There was nothing that was too far away, unless you wanted to go to like a different city like Duisburg or, you know, wherever. I don't know. We never really had to travel outside of Düsseldorf. We had everything there. I mean, we had a football field like 5 minutes away that we could go to. We had the Rhine right there where we could go all the time. There was just, it was just endless possibilities of doing stuff, and it was all so close. And you know, doing it all with your closest friends, that just makes it so much better and just so much more enjoyable, really. And then yeah, talking about school, the school I went to, the International School of Düsseldorf, which is a private school that does, you know, the IB, the International Bachelorette. I think that's, yeah, I'm pretty sure. Um, you know, that school was amazing. That school really shaped who I am today. Even though it's a private school, and you know, sometimes private schools get hate on and whatnot, but I I don't think there's a better schooling system than private schools. Private schools are so catered to their students, and they really just they really just make everything, it's it's hard to explain. It's just such a safe environment and so accepting and so welcoming. And you know, everybody's so understanding of different cultures that are there, and different methods of doing things. And it really exposes you to all these different ways of thinking and all these different people that you know, you would have never met if you just went to a regular school. I mean, I don't know what the statistics are in ISD, but you know, in my friend group alone, we had Norwegian, German, Spanish, Mexican, Argentinian. Um, who else was there? American, obviously. Like we had we had so many different people in our friend group, and it was so cool just to see the different way people lived at home. Like when you went to go visit, you know, if you went to go have breakfast at someone's house, you get to see like what that culture has for breakfast. Like one thing that really, really stands out to me is one time I was at one of my friends Simon's house, and they had this Norwegian cheese. I'm sure if he heard it, he knew exactly what I'm talking about. It's this Norwegian cheese that you just put on bread, and I'd never seen it before. And I don't think I'll ever see that again unless I either go to Norway or have a Norwegian friend. But it's just small things like that that you'd never really see, you'd never really guess, you'd never notice unless, you know, you're in that environment, unless you're there seeing that and experiencing that. And yeah, obviously being at a private school in such a nice city, we were very, very privileged. We had the greatest technology. You know, everybody had a laptop that they brought to school every day. We had you know, a great library with study spaces. We had projectors in every room. You could always hook your Mac to a TV through Apple AirPlay or whatever that's called, Apple TV. Every TV had that. So I know towards the end of the year when we really didn't have much to do anymore and people were just kind of studying and hanging out, we'd go into the basement of the library and we'd hook up our laptop to the TV and just either watch YouTube videos or just look at memes, just do whatever and just have fun. It was stuff like that that's like, it's just small things that you do that you don't really think like, oh, I'll definitely remember this in 10 years. But it's like, it's things like that that are just so funny and just so spontaneous and random. And like, you never know what video someone's going to show or what meme someone's going to pull up. And it's just all so funny to be in that situation. It's just, I don't know, it's just such a cool bonding time with all your friends and just seeing what's happening. It's like, I don't know, I don't think there's ever gonna be a time where I experience something like that again, you know, so stress-free, just so relaxed. Like, really, when I think back at it, like, the only stress that I had was my 6 classes in school. I had no stress when it comes to money. I had no stress about where my next meal's gonna come from. I had no family problems at home, nothing. It was really the only thing I had to do was make sure I passed my classes. That's the only thing in the whole world that I really, really was required to do. That was it. The rest was all, it was just all optional. I didn't have to do anything else. And I feel like when you're at that level, you don't realize it. Like, I know I didn't realize it. I thought, you know, oh man, if I don't pass these tests, my life's over. I mean, I might as well just be useless. I'm be homeless. I won't get into uni. I won't know what to do. Like, that's how I thought, and I'm sure that's how everybody that's going through the exams is thinking as well. And don't get me wrong, like, your exams are super important. You need to pass your exams to get into the universities you want to get into, to go to the cities you want to go to set yourself up for a proper career in the future. But in the grand scheme of things, you really don't have anything to worry about. Like, you're taken care of, you have a roof over your head, you have food on your plate, you have clothes on your back. Your problems are so minuscule. But obviously when you're in that situation, you don't realize that. But it's just, I don't know. I wish I could go back to ISD and just experience either the last year, the last 2 years, whatever it is. And I don't know. I wish I would have started this podcast back then when I could have all my friends on and just go over to their house and be like, hey, you want to talk for an hour? Let's record it and just have these memories to look back on. And, you know, I would say that's my one tip for people that are either graduating this year, next year, 2020, 2021, whenever you're graduating. That's one tip that I would have for you is do something that you can look back on those memories, you know. Make videos and edit them, post them to YouTube just for your friends to see. Who cares? Who cares if they don't blow up? Who cares if people make fun of you? It's all for you. In 10 years, when you're able to look back on those videos and be like, wow, that's who I was 10 years ago. Those were my friends, you know, having those videos. Because once you have those videos aren't going anywhere. You'll be able to share those with your kids, your grandkids. You'll always have those. And I feel like that's something that a lot of people don't notice. Like, they'll take pictures of stuff and, quick videos, but I mean, if you're motivated, if you're dedicated, and you really want to have memories for the future, record videos, make podcasts, do silly stuff, like record little sketches with your friends. Who cares if people make fun of you? You're never going to see half those people in a year, 2 years, whenever you graduate. You're never going to see any of those people that make fun of you for it. And if your friends are the ones that are like, "Oh, why are you making videos? Why are you doing a podcast?" Those aren't your real friends. Like, they don't want to see what can happen if you do something like that. They don't want to support you. And the friends that do support you, hold on to those friends. Keep them close. Put them in all your videos, all your podcasts, whatever you want to do. If you're huge into photography, like, go out and be like, "Yo, let's go take pictures of something funny. Like, let's go do something funny in the city, or make something funny, and then just take pictures of it so we have those memories." But I think that would be, one of my two biggest tips for people that are going to be graduating soon is cherish all your moments with your friends. Because, once uni starts, everybody wants to keep contact with their friends, and you want to be able to talk to them every day. But, life moves on. People get busy. People have stuff to do. Life keeps moving. It's just, cherish those moments now while you have them. Don't try and make them in the future when you're unsure. Just really cherish them now. And I wish I was thinking ahead and started this podcast a year ago or 2 years ago, and I could have all my friends on and just have these memories to look back on. I really, really wish that was something that I was smart enough to think about in the moment. But I guess that's why I'm telling you guys now, so you don't have to do the same thing I'm doing. Trying to go through pictures, or trying to go through every little lost file that I can find to see if there's anything funny in there. And yeah, I think the other biggest tip that I can give anyone that's graduating is just stay calm and enjoy the ride. Like, really, like, you just gotta relax, step back, look at where you are in life, look at what you have, look at who your friends are, and just enjoy it. Just really not accept what's happening, but try and have an outside perspective, so when you're in those moments, when funny stuff's happening, or when you're at a party or something, and this is going to be such a fun party, like, try and be in a mindset where you're like, I want to remember as much as I possibly can. Like, try and make mental notes, try and have stuff that you can link to that mental note. Like, if something funny happens with a piece of clothing, like, try and link that to that piece of clothing so you can always remember it. It's something not a lot of people think about, but it's so, so important when it comes to creating memories and being able to look back at everything and see what happened. And my final little tip for people that are graduating is have a right mindset for your future. Just be accepting, be understanding, be willing to change, just be excited for where you're going. Even if you didn't get accepted into your dream university, if you're not getting to travel to all the places that you want to go within the summer, none of that stuff will ruin your life unless you let it ruin your life. If you have a positive mindset, if you're just willing to open your eyes and say, okay, this is my future now, let's make it as good as I possibly can. Try and go out and make as many friends as you can. Try and go out and experience your city as much as you can. Don't lock yourself in your dorm and study, or your apartment, and just watch movies or whatnot. Like, even if it's as simple as just going on a 10-15 minute walk, you'll see so much more in that 10-15 minute walk than you ever will if you just sit inside your apartment. And it's such a small effort to do so. Like, just walking around your city, or getting a couple friends and going and getting a drink, or getting a couple friends and hanging out in a park or going to a library, doing something where you're around people and you get to see stuff. That's how you experience. That's how you get to know your city as well. I guess that's just my final tip. Just accept your future and try and have a positive mindset going into it, because having a negative mindset, it won't change where you're going for uni, or where you didn't get to travel or whatnot. All it'll do is just make you unmotivated and put you in a crappy mood going forward. Like, just try and be happy about where you are. Try and be happy about the city you're going to, what you're going to study. And I feel like as long as you have a positive mindset, everything else will fall into place, you know? If you have a positive mindset and you're happy and you're open and you're willing to talk to people, people respond on the energy you give out. If you're a happy person when you talk to someone, they're probably going to be happy to you too. There's no reason for them not to be happy. And if they are unhappy with the way you're greeting them, or if they're not accepting the way you're greeting them or whatnot, then move on to the next person. That person just might not vibe with you. They might not connect with you in the way that you want to. Move on to the next person and see if you can make a new friend there, or have a new experience with that person. It's as long as you have an open, positive mindset, though, like I said, everything else will fall into place. If you're happy, if you have a positive mindset about the course you're studying, you'll be motivated to study. You'll be motivated to do your projects. You'll be motivated to go to class. Because, I mean, once you get to uni, if you don't want to go to class, don't go to class. No one cares. Like, you're spending your money not to go to class. No teacher is going to come chase you or tell you, oh, come to class next time. No one cares. If you don't want to go to a lecture, don't go to a lecture. It's just you have to deal with those consequences. But when you have a positive mindset, you'll want to go into those lectures. You'll want to go to class. You'll want to do your projects. You'll want to, create something outside of your school life, like I'm doing with this podcast. I don't have to do this, but I want to try something. I want to experience something new. I want to see if this will lead somewhere. So yeah, I think that is I think those are like my biggest things that I miss about high school, and tips that I can give to people that are either graduating this year or graduating next year, whenever you're graduating. But yeah, thank you guys for listening. I realize this is a little bit of a shorter one, but still want to get something out and, talk about something that's on my mind. Thank you guys so much for listening, and I hope to see you guys next week.